And we're going to continue our conversation about like protein and why I don't think, you know, over focusing about protein is necessary and doesn't make sense. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts about all the protein propaganda, and what you want me to talk about in the next live. So today we're training legs. First warm-up set with the pistol squat. As you're tuning in, let me know if you're vegan, where are you from, and drop some questions. I like to make this interactive and not just talk about what I feel like talking. First set of pistol squat always kind of feel super heavy, like the body is getting used to the balance, to the tension. Okay, that was a warm-up. Then we're doing 12 kilograms pistol squats, because last week we did it with 8 reps. So this is how I love to progress, right? So there are different schools out there when it comes to make progress in the gym and building muscle, building strength, right? You know, some people push more the go to failure approach. Personally, I love to have, you know, a more focus on progressive overload. Like actually look at the numbers that I have noted in my tracking notebook for the workout and say, okay, so last week I did this week I need to do more. And then eventually, like, failure will come as a consequence of these attempt to, you know, improve myself week after week. And you know, especially for beginner, I think this is an approach that you do have to start having, because so many beginners in training have this concept of going to the gym, you know, and doing exercises to failure, and you know that is what makes the exercise and the workout effective. If you went to a gym and you felt the burn and you went to failure, therefore you had a good workout. But if really your goal is actually build more and more muscle and increasing in strength, that's not necessarily a good indicator that you are making progress or that you had a good workout. Because the real indicator is how you are increasing strength, reps, sets, and the intensity over time. Because just imagine this, you know, you can stop training for 5 weeks and you go back to a gym, and you go to failure, you feel the burn, but that doesn't mean that you have done better than last time. We have 2 questions. So before checking those questions, I will do my first set. Actually, my first set, I'm going to do it again with 8 kilograms, just to see how it feels. Oh, this pen doesn't work. So pistols, 8 kg, I'm just going to match last week numbers and do 8 reps again. Feels good. 8 reps. Actually, it feels a little bit heavy, but that's also because I got some extra fat on in the last 2 weeks. I'm weighing 86 kilograms and a half. Yeah, I feel good. So 8 reps. Next, going for 12 kilograms. The bigger kettlebell. And let's go to the questions. Hi. Thanks, Jono. Yeah, pistol squat is hard exercise, especially if you're a big boy. You know, if you weigh more than 70 kilograms, pistol squats are going to be an effective exercise for a good amount of time. What is Lemma saying? What is circuit training? Surf RB? I don't know. If you guys know what is circuit training, surf RB, let me know in the chat. Okay, you were talking with the person on B above you. Okay. So is there a conversation going on here? No. Surf B. So it's a name. Surf is not a type of circuit. It's actually a person. So I change it up. Sometimes heavy to failure for a while, then maybe circuit training, lightweight, and just work out with body weight, high reps. I mean, if that's work for you and you're happy, but you know, the point there is that you're not going to keep getting better and better at one style of training, right? You're not going to consistently get stronger if you are switching workouts that much. Rick is asking, all your workouts are with your own body weight? Yeah, I mean, I do use some extra weight, but they are based on body weight training, yes. All right, rest is done. I still didn't have time to get to the question. Well, we need to try those 12 kilogram pistol squats. I don't think I ever done pistol squats with 12 kilograms. Let me put it here, maybe it's more comfortable. That's 5 and 6. That's an energy drink. Six and six. Something interesting to know would be, how much one pistol squat with extra 12 kilograms would translate into back squat. All right, so Lama is asking, please give us your default vegan breakfast, lunch and dinner. Absolutely. So for breakfast we have oats with milk and banana and coffee. I also have plant-based milk in the coffee. For lunch I would have pasta with some kind of beans, any beans like legume, chickpeas, lentils, red kidney beans, I will change it up every day. And then I would have it with about 300 grams of vegetables. The same there, I will mix and match. It'll be different each day. Asparagus and broccoli and mushrooms, those are my go-to. Red peppers, usually these are the ones that I eat the most. And for lunch I would also make sure that I add some hemp seeds for good fats. And then for snack, my girlfriends always make it for me, and that's actually it's the same. Usually it's soy yogurt with oats and fruits, two or three fruits actually usually. And then for dinner I would have a salad, so kind of a raw meal with green leafy greens, dark leafy greens, more vegetables like grated carrots, tomato. I always put lemon juice on top, tofu in the salad, and I would have also a portion of pasta or bread, usually 100 grams of that. And that's it. That's my daily day of eating as a weak vegan. Okay. Next questions. So Ricky is asking if are most of my workouts with body weight. Again, yes. So my training approach is calisthenics, body weight training, but as you can see, I do use extra weight on top of it. So this is a third question, but I didn't see it. So, favorite pre-workout and during workout drink. So pre-workout is usually coffee. Usually it's coffee, but today I'm having an energy drink from Aldi. Energy drink from Aldi. My favorite energy drink would be Monster, like the big one. And then during the workout, usually I actually don't drink during the workout, but if I drink something, that would be water. So John Jono says, what protein rich food do you eat every day? So here's where I really changed my mentality about protein when I went vegan and started to become a personal trainer, exploring nutrition more in details, right? So I stopped looking too much at, protein rich food, right? Because before, when you weren't vegan, you were looking at animal products as the only protein source, right? But as a vegan, I've learned and I gave more value to the fact that all food has protein, right? So you have many vegan coaches out there that will tell you that you're doing wrong when you are seeing seeds and nuts as a protein source, because in reality they are a fat source. Same thing with legumes. They will tell you that they're not a protein source because they have carbs, so they are a carb source. But the reality is that protein is in everything, and you should be counting the protein coming from everywhere. Also because if we go down that road, the end is that vegans will go and eat processed vegan food, right? Because it's really the only protein-based food, and it doesn't make sense to me to eat that way. But I'm going to answer the question. So what is the food that you should be including in order to make sure that your protein daily intake goes up? I think 2 more. Fuck. I'm here. Oh yes, this has become an enemy. I definitely want to do an extra set. So, all right, so this is the first thing, right? That I stopped looking at which is the protein food, but rather see protein in all food. Because that's how it is actually, right? Now, I think what you really want when it comes to making sure that you are increasing your daily protein intake is having legumes for your main meals. That's it. I think this is the one single tip that I can give you and that I practice myself, and then have a diet that includes all the other plant foods, like you have seeds and nuts, you have vegetables, you have fruit, you have grains, because all this food has protein. Like pasta and rice, they have 10 grams of protein per 100 grams, right? Spinach has 3 grams of protein per 100 grams, and it's very low in calories. So you see like protein is in everything. So and that's why you shouldn't be stuck with what do I have to eat in order to get protein, because otherwise you ignore the fact that everything has got protein and you just focus on the protein food. And again, as I said before, if you do that, then as a vegan, you will end up consuming processed food. And next question. So, I just want to think if I covered like this one thing about protein. Yeah, and I want to give you another example, not an example, but a comment about you know, how can I say, you know, just something that I heard from a vegan coach today on Instagram. And he's a black dude. This has been in the military. He's bald. You probably know this guy. Drop in the chat if you know the name of this vegan coach. You know, he was making suggestions on how to eat when you're traveling and going to holiday. And the first thing he says is, so when I choose my snacks to go travel, I'm going to focus on protein. And so it shows, well, let me finish the set. And so it shows what he has in the bag. And in the bag he has a protein shake, so protein powder, and then he has torkufi, right, which is processed meat, definitely not among the healthiest food choices. And I'm not saying that that's unhealthy, please don't kill me. I'm not saying that vegan processed food is unhealthy to have in your diet. But doesn't it make more sense to have some fruits and nuts as a snack? Isn't that a healthier choice? Alright, so now we need to organize the next exercise. Which is a little bit easier, so I should be able to talk. Let me check what I have to do. I lost the pen. Oh, no. Thanks. So John Who is asked if I would consider tempeh processed. Absolutely not. I mean, in my opinion, in the scale of healthy choices, tempeh, it's a super healthy choice. I mean, it's true that it's kind of processed, but you know, the way tofu is processed is by fermenting beans, which is not necessarily a forced procedure. Like fermentation is something that could occur naturally in nature. So it's definitely not processed, and has been proved more and more time that is healthy. And actually fermented food specifically have their place into a diet that promotes health, right? And here's what I mean when I say that I'm not demonizing, you know, like vegan processed food. I'm not saying that they are unhealthy, but if I need to promote them for make your diet healthier, then I say no. Like, why would I have to promote it? Yeah, they can be part of your diet. You can be healthy, including vegan processed food into your diet, but you'd be better off if you minimize it and eat more legumes and fruits and vegetables and nuts. And also, the reason why most people include this processed vegan food in their diet is for the wrong reasons. They do it because they want to increase their protein intake. That's why they do it. Okay, and it's just not necessary. First, you get enough protein eating just plant food, whole plant food. And second, the idea of protein target that you have in your mind is too high. It's not the correct one. Like, you don't need 150 grams of protein per day. You don't need 180. You definitely don't need 200 grams. Most people, 100 grams of protein per day. It's absolutely fine. If you eat more, it's fine too. But it's not that by eating less you're slowing down your progress in training or stuff like that. No, you're good with 100 grams of protein per day. Tofu is more processed than tempeh, said Giorgio. Yeah, tofu is actually more processed than tempeh. Where did you get the vest? The vest is from Decathlon. Oh shit, I forgot the number of reps. Ten. Did 10 last week. So I'm pretty sure it was kind of easy last week, so I'm going to go for 12 repetitions. Or maybe not. I'm actually going to keep it at 10 because the progression with I can feel the progression I made with the pistol squat, so let's keep it at 10 and try to increase repetition in the next sets. So back to the question. So Ricky is asking, in terms of food, how many times a day do you eat, and how many times, in terms of food, how many times a day do you eat out, and how many times do you cook for yourself? So it's a good question. So 30 kilograms, 10 reps. So personally, I always eat at home. And, well, not always, but most of the time, I eat at home. And I believe that if your goal is prioritizing your looks, your health and fitness, and perhaps save some money as well, because eating out is going to be always more expensive than what you cook at home. So if your goal is prioritizing that, Fuck. Okay. I cannot talk while I do this. Gotta wait, guys. So yeah, no, I don't eat out as much during the week. I like to try, you know, I like to try to organize the week so, you know, you have these 5 days per week. They are kind of like your working day. When you are disciplined, you follow your plan, you follow your structure, and then you have a cheat day on Saturday, and on Sunday, not a cheat day, but maybe a little bit more freedom in the food choices. But I understand, like I work from home now, so some of you might not able to cook at home all the time. You're actually forced to eat out. But you know, I wasn't always living at home. I wasn't always working at home. There was a time where I was a bartender, and the way I looked and my fitness goals were still important. So if you're in that situation, then prepping your food is super important. Prep your food, because again, like the rule, if you want to, especially if you want to look lean, the leanest as possible, you cannot have the freedom of always eating out. I mean, I know some countries actually have some restaurants that give you the exact macros. So maybe in that case you can. But, you know, apart from that, I say that eating out is an exception. But most of your food, if you want to prioritize the way you look, and I believe also your health, because the food you're going to cook at home is going to be healthier than what you buy outside. So if you want to do that, then you should minimize your eating out. And if you're forced to eat out, then you bring your own food. Yeah, there's one, yeah. Oh, fuck. So, I hope that answered the question. I'm your big fan because I support against animal cruelty. Of course, Badal, that's number one. Activism is number one. I saw a question somewhere. How do you work out the hamstring? So I do one leg Romanian deadlift, which I'm going to do after this, actually. But this is what I always tell my girlfriend, that every time she does a squat, she says, oh, but this is not for the glutes, this is not for the hamstring. When you're training legs, all the exercises, you're working out all the leg muscles. You know, you cannot squat without using all the muscles in your legs. It's just that they just work together to hinge your body, right? Everything that includes this, it's working glutes, quads, hamstring. You're working everything all the time. Of course, you change the emphasis, that's for sure. But I just wanted to make that point. Is white rice unhealthy? So I'm not a nutritionist, and I don't dive into nutrition in such a specific way and analyzing single foods. But I heard in a podcast, which is not like the best and most trustworthy podcast, which is the Joe Rogan podcast. And they were saying that actually white rice is healthier than brown rice, apparently. But anyway, grains are part of a healthy diet, I believe. Fuck. Okay, so now it's coming. One leg RDL this year. But yeah, again, I think that grains like rice, pasta, bread, quinoa, they're not unhealthy, but I think they're not like necessary in a diet. But if you are training, you're active throughout the day, and you need to increase your calories, then having pasta, rice, and bread is going to be crucial to make sure that you eat enough calories, because of course, like eating only fruits and vegetables, it's going to make it more difficult to eat more calories. So I think grains and cereals are not essential inside of a diet, but it makes sense to eat them just to increase the amount of calories that you eat throughout the day. How heavy are those dumbbells? So one is 8 and the other one is 12. From which country you belong? I'm Italian. She's a big fan. Say hi to the daughter. Have you worked out with yoga? I mean, like for me, yoga is a discipline. No, I mean, it's definitely a workout. You can call it a workout if you want, but You know, if I need to increase my mobility, I just stretch. So this is the exercise that I do for my hamstring. Not gonna lie, this is it's pretty easy. Hamstrings do need a little bit more weight to make it effective. So maybe it's time to buy a dumbbell or think of a way of making it more difficult. I do yoga daily in the morning for an hour and feel very better. I haven't taken any medicine for the last 10 years. Amazing. I don't know how you can do yoga for 1 hour. You know, I'm not saying that it's going to be boring. Actually, holding those positions is hard, but I rather go for a run. I usually spend 15 minutes per day stretching. Yoga is a workout. Yeah, I mean, it's also stretching. I missed the beginning, but where do most of your calories come from? Carbohydrates? It depends what you mean. So, as a vegan, you're going to eat a lot of carbohydrates, like all food, all whole plant-based food is going to include carbohydrates. So I guess the answer is yes. Most of my calories come from carbohydrates. I mean, actually, I don't guess. That's for sure. I want to tell you why I say that yoga is not a workout. Because if you work out like me, you can do yoga. If you do yoga, you cannot work out like me. That's why. Oh. This felt a little better. What's the weighted vest for? Is it for aesthetic? Of course not, man. Of course it's not for aesthetic. It's 10 kilograms. But actually for this exercise is almost for aesthetic, because it doesn't put the force at the edge of my body is a little bit too much closer to my barycentrum, but I have it on me because I was doing the other exercises before this. Do we have any other question? So, So I think yesterday someone asked me if I ever ate like 200 grams of protein and see if that affected my muscle growth that much, right? And here's the thing, like, when you build muscle, I think people have definitely unrealistic expectations when it comes to building muscles. So if you're a natural, you don't build muscle at a limited rate. First of all, there is a limit. Unfortunately, some people build more muscle, some people build less muscles. Doesn't mean that you are doomed if you have bad genetics. No, most people will be able to drastically change the amount of muscle that they have on them, even with bad genetics. However, there is a genetic ceiling that you're going to be hit, and this genetic ceiling is not only about the amount of muscle, it's also about the rate at which you are building muscle, right? So meaning that maybe you and another person are going to be able to build 10 kilograms of muscle before hitting this ceiling and start to build muscle at a very slow rate, or just stop building muscle. But one of you is going to build those 10 kilograms of muscle in 2 years' time, and the other person is going to build muscle, is going to build this 10 kilograms of muscle in 5 years' time, right? So 2 kilograms per year. This is all about genetics. So going back to the question that I've been asked, if eating more protein it would make me progress faster, like how much faster, right? So if a general pace of muscle growth for most people would be like 5 kilograms in your first year, your second year is going to be already 3 or 2 or 1. Okay, so 5 kilograms in the first year is already pretty good. Like most of my clients manage to build 5, some of them 7. I mean, like, I think maybe I should say that most of them actually build 5 kilograms in like 6-7 months. But the ones that have been the longest with me and got the best results, they didn't build more than 7 kilograms of muscles in 1 year time. But I also had clients that built 3 kilograms of muscle in 6 months. So you see, genetics and they both people were actually sticking to the program. So you see, there is this genetic differentiation on the pace at which you're going to build muscle, and also once you get to my point where I already hit my my ceiling, the amount of muscle, my genetic potential, let's say, I am improving very slow. I actually track my progress. Okay, I track my average weight, and I track my body fat. So I actually know pretty well how much muscle I've built in the past years. And I've built, to be fair, I think I've built 1 kilogram of muscles in 2 years, right? So I'm trying to keep it low, just because, there is tolerance in the measurements. So it's not like super precise. But I think it's fair to say that I built 1 kilogram of muscles in 2 years. And in these 2 years, I've been pretty consistent with my training. So if we consider that, the pace at which I'm building muscle right now, like how much of a difference is going to make to eat more protein? Is there going to be a 10% increase? 10% would be 0.1 grams of muscles each 2 years. So 0.1 grams of extra muscle every 2 years. This means 1 kilogram of muscle every decade. If you see it this way, you understand that there is no point of trying to optimize and maximize your muscle growth by overstressing about protein, because it doesn't make a huge difference. And if you're a bodybuilder, here's the thing: like, most of the information that you see out there is from bodybuilders, is from people obsessed about building muscle, and all they do in life is building muscle and drinking protein shakes, and taking steroids. So you listen to these people that is obsessed, but you don't need to listen to these people, because you're not these people. We are normal people that want to live a better life through exercising, building some muscle and feeling more confident, and be better than the non-vegan beside us that is questioning if it's possible to be strong and healthy as a vegan, but not to optimize the amount of muscle that you have so you can step on a stage and right? You don't do that. I must say I'm done with this exercise. I don't like it. I need more weight, or I need another exercise. So next week, guys, I'm going to have more weight. So I'm going to feel like I'm doing something while I do this. Lunges plus squats. We have 30 kilograms here. 10 plus 10. Let's do this. Okay, so I actually have only 10 minutes to finish the workout. 10 minutes. Lightweight. All right. Man.
Good.
Oh. Ah, fuck. Let's go back. There are questions. I did see some questions. I think that was the good things to do for a hip flexor strain, if you know. So definitely I can, you know, like hip flexor, they do so many different movements, are involved in so many different movements, but in general, what I would say is do movements that you can do with little to no pain and slowly develop strength through that movement, because you know when you're training you are rebuilding those tissues, and so you're actually speeding up the recovery. That's you know that's what physiotherapists do when they give you rehabilitation exercises. They want you to use the muscle so you build up strength. But I would say that, you know, most of these rehab routine and exercises, they go a little bit too light. I think it's good to do them, especially in the beginning if you had an injury rehab. But then you want to go, you know, let's say actually squats, right? When you do squats, you are using your hip flexor as well. So let's say you feel a bit of pain when you do squats and you feel a lot of pain when you're doing weighted squats, then don't do weighted squats. Do body weight squat, okay? And over the days and the week, start putting it a little bit of weight. Maybe you cannot go all the way down. You need to stop. You need to stop earlier because it's too painful, right? And build your way up. Oh.